Hey guys, welcome. Happy New Year, first of all. We are so excited for 2020, and I'm so excited to bring it in with you guys and my lovely ladies here. Welcome to Press the Podcast. We're so excited. So we just wanted to bring in the new year with our new podcast. Give you guys a little background about us, tell y'all who we are, because we want y'all to connect with us for sure, and just tell y'all who Press the Podcast is.
So for our launch, we had a little launch party at Revelers Hall. Major shout out. Super grateful for Cooper over at Revelers Hall and Ryan, our amazing bartender.
Absolutely.
If you guys are ever in the Dallas area, be sure to visit Bishop Arts. It's super cute little design area. Bunch of restaurants, shops, anything that you want, but that's where Revelers is located. So we just want to give them a huge shout out. So basically our launch was launching us for all of our friends and family to thank them and to get to know us. Different questions came up about our podcast, and it was really just like our showcasing almost. So just kind of a little thing that we did, if you guys can see, or you know, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, you can see our fishbowl. If you're listening to us, we have a fishbowl here live in person. What we did is we let everybody at our event write down questions. If they had any questions for us or any topics that they wanted us to talk about, drop them in the fishbowl. In the future, if you have any topics, be sure to DM us, text us, email pressthepodcast@gmail. All of your questions, all of your topics.
So Gabby, you can take the first one.
Let me get a sip before I take the first one. Can we all get a sip,
before
please?
we spill? Let's go.
Okay.
Cheers this out.
Let me just get a little
seriously.
cheers.
Lord.
Our first one.
Baby.
And this is going to be how we start. This is going to be like our intro segment. This is going to be one of our segments for our podcast. So we're super excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting the first question.
Dun.
Good luck.
Don't let me get anything crazy, because I just don't have time. Okay, let's see. How do you stay motivated? That's a great question.
Especially starting off the new year, because these resolutions.
2020, everybody's like, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to work out. No. So how do I stay motivated? I think that's a great question. For me, I have to constantly have people kind of pouring into me, because I do kind of get down on myself. A lot of times, like, I'll be like overthinking something and kind of canceling myself out before I even try it.
Yeah.
So I do have certain people that I kind of go to that kind of are my rally uppers and kind of push me like, Gabby, stop tripping. You got this. And another way I stay motivated is I stay prayed up. If we just being honest.
Number one.
Gotta stay prayed up.
For sure. I think that's probably the most important thing.
Listen, if you won't do it, who can?
First of all, the thing about motivation is that, like, you never feel like it. Motivation and feeling like doing anything is just not, they don't go hand in hand. So I like the fact that you said that you have community and people to hold you accountable for staying motivated or staying on task, because it's easy. I mean, Avina is the only one here who has a child, so I can only imagine.
Go ahead.
That extra layer.
Best child.
The
breast baby.
She probably has an extra special level of motivation, because she has a whole nother human that she has to take care of. But
definitely.
I think for women, it's really important that we find whatever it is that we need to keep us motivated.
And just to kind of piggyback off that, I feel like with motivation has to also come with determination as well as organization. Like, you have to have like a type of skill set to be able to manage what you're on your plate. You know, you can't just be like, okay, I have all these things, but what does it look like managing all those things?
Yeah.
Whether it's this happens on Tuesday, this happens on Friday, I don't do any of this, what does that look like for you?
And I think that probably helps with the motivation. If you're prepared, you would feel a little bit more motivated to start the thing that you're trying to get motivated to do. Because if I'm super all over the place, I'm gonna be like,
I can't do any.
You know
of
what?
it.
I'm gonna just do that tomorrow, which is the lazy man's favorite day.
Absolutely.
And at that point, you're not even motivated.
No,
you're not motivated.
I mean, I'm on the couch.
That's true though.
Netflix.
Like for me, it's definitely my daughter. You know, like the past, she's going on 7. She'll be 7 this month. So just the past 7 years, it's kind of like without her, there's no me.
Oh.
So whatever I'm doing, I have to always make sure, okay, she's gonna grow up and watch you. She's gonna see a reflection of you.
Isn't that crazy?
And I mean,
I couldn't even imagine.
It made me grow up, and it's just kind of like, you have somebody watching you. You have somebody looking up to you.
Yeah.
So to be honest, if you have kids, that's the easiest motivation.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's not about you. You can't be selfless. Like, we have to be selfless rather, and not think about yourself. So I agree.
What's
so
next?
bad.
That was a good one. Okay.
Let's
Whoever
see.
answered that question, if you asked that question at our event, please leave us a note. We'd
Right.
like to
We
know.
need
Because these were
questions.
all anonymous, and that's another
Correct.
thing. These will be anonymous. We won't like shout y'all out unless you want to.
We may
Put
not
your
call
name
you
on
out.
there. Put your Insta
Right.
on
Oh
there.
my
We
God.
might
Some
call
of
you out.
No.
We can call you
Deserve a
out.
calling out.
We
For
can
real.
definitely call you out. If
I
you
mean,
want us to
could
call
put a
you
shout
out,
That's true.
tag,
Quick
throw
little
your
shout
handle
out.
in there,
Put your
whatever you
handle.
want. Whatever you want.
And also to kind of segue with the questions, you can make them like a group question, or you can personalize. Like I want Avina to answer, so I want Ari to answer.
Yeah.
Don't ask me any questions to answer, but you
Don't-
can definitely ask.
don't ask
them.
me anything
You can
crazy.
definitely ask them.
Y'all
you
can
know,
give me
I
the
don't wanna
crazy
know
ones.
anything.
Don't get excited.
Y'all can give me the
Okay, I
crazy
gotta
ones.
say this because I think it's hilarious. We were going through the questions. We put them all back in here, so this is random. But there was one. There was one from the event that said something to the effect of like, "What's Gabby's schedule?" Because
She went there.
he want to take her out. Somebody wants to holler at Gabby. So if you wrote that question,
Let us know.
Actually,
Let's
just slide in my
curate
DMs.
that date for you.
Right.
Don't worry about that.
I'll
but
pay
no, I'm
for
just
it.
kidding.
Shout out.
We'll set it
So
up.
yeah, you can literally put whatever you want in here. But anyway, on to the
You
next
hate
question
to see
before
it.
we.
You hate to see it.
I'm recording that date too.
It was
Whoever
gonna
dropped that
embarrass
in
her,
there.
so I had to. So anyway, that's what love is. That's
Another
what friends
drink.
are for.
Another drink.
Right, sips tea. Okay, so my question says, what do you want to do more or less of in 2020? Which is also a great question for this
Great
new year.
question.
That is a great question.
What do I personally want to do more of or less of in 2020? I think I want to do less worrying and trying to be super calculated, because that's just the type of person that I am. I have my hands in a lot of
That's a
different
good one.
things. So I want more focus, which in turn
Yeah.
means less worrying
Absolutely.
and like you said, being more prayed up and being more prepared. I think I don't know if I was telling you that earlier today
Yeah.
or someone, that I just want to be a little bit more prepared. I mean, with this podcast,
Yeah.
I mean, I have life group, I have corporate,
So
my
many
corporate
things.
life, so many things, even just my social life, my friends,
Right.
things like that I want to come to the table a little bit more prepared for, instead of just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants, which I have done for the last 31 years.
That's okay.
0.75 years.
0.75. Don't forget,
Right,
we have birthdays coming
we
up.
have birthdays. I'm sorry. This is a
Capricorn.
side plug. We have
Pup.
a birthday coming up.
We have 2 birthdays coming up.
Yes, it's Capricorn
But
season.
no, seriously, I think that I mean, that segues with your motivation question as well. Just coming with a little bit more force for my dreams,
Yeah.
a little bit more preparation, a little bit more zeal
For sure.
for the things that are really, really important to me. So
And
I
I
think
think-
that's for me.
And I also think with motivation and with focus, discipline, like just
Absolutely.
being disciplined in the things that you want to do and actually pursuing those things. Because you can say,
That's like a cuss
"Oh, I'm
word."
motivated."
Discipline?
Are you talking about the D word? Which
Kinda.
D word? No, but definitely
Wow.
not the messy too.
Whoa.
I need like a buzzer, like that's someone took on the road.
It took me way too fast. I wasn't ready. Okay, go.
Back on track.
Back on track. Okay,
Okay,
discipline.
yeah. But discipline is definitely something that transparent moment I definitely struggle with.
Yeah.
Just actually sitting down and doing those things. I can make a list of things that I want to do. I can plan to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm the planner of
Absolutely.
the year. But actually
Same.
getting to those things and doing those things and making myself a priority is something that I struggle with. So I definitely want to do more of that. Pursuing my plans. Oh, pursuing my plans. That was good. I'm gonna have to use that one. Okay.
I think for me, so last year I really, really tried to focus on being selfish, because I
This
felt
baby is the most selfless. I love her as a friend because this baby will
need
do
an
anything
Avina.
for you.
Yeah, need an
Everybody needs an
Avina.
Avina.
Anything at any time.
Anything
But
you
not
want,
our Avina.
But I'm so proud. You
can have ours.
Because I did
can have
realize that. But anyway, go ahead.
I
I'm sorry.
do, like I always feel like and I don't say that, I hardly ever say this out loud, like only my close circle, or really I tell my mom a lot, like I need to be more selfish, because being selfless it's a pro and a con. If you're too selfless, I'm always, and y'all can attest to this, I'm always the one who I'll drop everything and come if you need me to hang up
Definitely.
a picture
She
frame,
definitely
if
will.
you whatever it is, I usually drop, or I find a way to fit it in my schedule so I could be there. But I think that is really one thing for me in 2019. I really focused on being a little bit more selfish, and I want to have an equal balance of being selfish and selfless. And I think that, I mean, just having that balance makes you a good person, because you want to be very reliable, but you don't want to be so reliable that people start taking advantage of you.
And
you don't want to give yourself up to be reliable. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so
sure.
that's
easy to do.
That's probably me, just having a balance on how much I help people and how much I drop everything.
Your name in my phone is Abina the Down for Whatever friend. Literally, that's her name in my phone. So Abina Down for Whatever friend. I know I can call her anytime, and she'll be there.
Yep.
But not after 10:30, because my phone automatically goes on.
Real life mama vibes.
Before 10, no, seriously. Anything before 10, she got you. But
Sunday
no,
through Thursday.
That's really important.
Don't call me.
Did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so for me, I think in 2020, what I want to do less of is allowing people have access to me. So there are a lot of times.
Say it one more time.
I sometimes gotta just sip before I talk.
Yeah, sip before you spill, sweetie. Sip before you spill.
Hey, what was the name of this wine?
That is a great question.
You remember?
We'll get back to you on
We'll get
that.
back. You know,
Okay.
we'll tag it.
We'll tag it.
We will tag it.
But yeah, so in 2020, I want people to have less access to me. So what that kind of means for me is a lot of times, how Avina was saying, people can just call me up at any time of the day, and I'll pretty much figure out a way to do it. Like whether it's I don't want to seem like I'm just rich, but whether it's like giving people money, or whether it's like people can tell me, like your birthday last year, he was like, hey, the day before, he's like, hey, I'm going to DC and in New York. I had just got back. I said, oh, flight booked, say less. You know, like you don't have to give me a lot of deets. I'm always there. I'm always doing whatever I can. And sometimes it's like drains me more, but I don't ever want to come off as like not being supportive. And I know that sometimes when you do stuff for other people, you don't always get the same things in return. Yeah, for sure. So I want it to be a two-way street. If you're not depositing into me and I'm not depositing into you, this ain't gonna happen. You know. So in 2020, it's looking a little slim, but yeah. I think we could do one more question.
I think we have. Yeah, we definitely have time for more.
Okay, go ahead.
You can go ahead.
I don't even know.
One of y'all pull. One of y'all.
Talking about some what's Gabby's
Get a
schedule?
juicy one, Ari. Pull a juicy one.
That's long and lengthy.
Oh, and it's long. Okay. So what made you all decide to start a podcast group? How did you all come up with the name Pressed?
Is that a 2 question on one note card?
That is a 2 question. Somebody trying to get a freebie.
Actually,
somebody trying to get it.
It's a good one. Okay. It's a good segue.
So
take it away.
I actually was just about to tell y'all this. So, as far as starting the podcast, I think that, me and Tasha were actually in Phoenix on business, and we were in the car, and I was watching this podcast, and I was like, we can do that. We have cool friends.
What podcast was it?
The Link Up.
Ooh, yes.
Shout out to the Link
Shout
Up.
out
We
to
love
Link
y'all.
Yes,
love
we
y'all.
really
So
do.
we were totally inspired by you guys.
Yes.
Shout out to the Link Up. I watch y'all all the time. Y'all are dope. So I was watching the Link Up, and I was like, we should totally do a podcast. So Tasha was like, okay, I'm down. She's always down for whatever. And she was like, who's gonna be in it? And I literally named these 2.
Yep.
I mean, who better?
And we hit them up literally in a group message that day, and they were like, let's do it.
Yeah, literally we're on board. Didn't even know what we were going to talk about.
Right.
What we were
Didn't
gonna
know.
do,
We didn't know what we were gonna talk about. I just made some shirts.
Yeah.
And I made a logo. We made some shirts, and we got to
Got
it.
it going.
Correct.
So
Pub the
literally,
merch. Pub the merch.
yeah. If y'all want a shirt,
Merch.
So yeah, we literally just decided to do it, and that's the gist of that. And then once we started talking and figuring out what we wanted to stand for, we came up with 3 words: cultivate, converse, and connect. And those words they hit home for all of us in so many different ways. Connect being the most important to me. I love that we did the event. We were able to connect with different millennials around the area. We were able to share our passion for the things that we care about, the things that we love. And we're just all about getting everybody to that next level. So like she said, we're going to have so many events and so many different things that you guys can stay involved with us. And yeah, so
we definitely want everybody to come out and connect with us. Our
Absolutely.
goal is
for real.
to, start off small and just kind of get millennials in the DFW area, just kind of interact, mingle, get to know each other, basically piggyback and use you for what you're good at. Absolutely. So, an esthetician, a trainer, a chef, whatever, just come in. And that's really what our events are going to be about, is connecting and cultivating. I mean, I know I've said this a time or 2, but millennials we're the best generation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, because we're
living
perfect,
in the best generation.
Oh, we are.
We really went from CD players to iPhones. I mean, can we take
that quick?
Like,
and we got a little bit of the old school and a little bit of the new school.
Correct.
Like, we're tapped in enough to know technology and things like that, but we also, have the values and stuff that our parents set before us.
Exactly.
Of like, they didn't have all of that.
So you really just sum that up with having I personally, I feel like millennials have the most amazing work ethic.
I think so.
Because they work smarter, not necessarily harder. And I
Yeah.
feel like the generation before us kind of gets pissed at that because they're like, no.
They're so mad.
Right.
I think the thing that they get pissed about more is just that we're microwave generation, that we want
Absolutely.
everything really fast. But
Yeah.
I think it's
But I don't
because
see there's anything
we
wrong
feel-
with that.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with
There's
that, but I think the reason why we feel like that, to our defense, is just that, not that we're super smarter than any other generation. I mean, there's just a lot of access to technology and information and things like that, so that helps us out, right? But we just don't see that it has to take this long. We don't see that you have to be at corporate for 20 years to
Right.
be
Yeah.
able to move up 3
Yes.
positions. Like, no,
Yes.
sis, like if I am completing job and task, and or even in my creative world, if I'm doing something, I'm putting it out there, like I feel like I should be moving up in the world. Yes, things take time, businesses take time. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I know all about that. But
Cereal.
Cereal.
I'm sorry, was that shade?
Was that
Okay.
the first shade thrown?
Was
Was it
that
thrown by Ari?
shade?
'Cause I did say that last
I'm
night.
The number
shade
2.
thrower.
The number 2. She's
Okay.
exactly like
I'm
me.
a
First of all, my
thrower
birthday is
shade.
January 13th, and in case anybody cares. But hers is the 14th, and
accepting
she's
gifts?
literally my twin. Like, she literally is the same person as me, so I don't
The
even know
best
why she would be the
blessing
first
ever.
person to even say anything.
She's
But to
cereal.
my defense, again, about millennials, I think we're like the perfect mesh between, like you said, like the old school.
Yeah.
And
knowing
the old
what's
school?
super important, and like having values and standards and things like that, but also having this hustle and like work ethic of the
Hustle and
new
bustle.
generation.
Yeah.
So you know what's crazy? I read an article about 6 months ago. It said that millennials, part of the reason why they're so successful is because they have 3 different streams of revenue.
Yeah.
So most millennials don't just have one stream of revenue, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's amazing because people, like, if I
Yeah.
think about my parents, they didn't have a side hustle.
No.
You know what I mean?
My dad is always amazed by one of our friends. I don't know if we want to shout her out. She has a juicing company.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And I didn't know if we were name dropping. Her name's
Yes.
Brittany. It's called the Juice Bar.
The juice
Bar.
Let me double check.
Yeah,
really
we'll have to
quickly.
shout her out on
And
our
we're going
page
to tag
just
that
to
in too.
reference.
We're
Yeah.
going to tag that in too.
But yeah, she's super dope. She has that. She boils crawfish in the spring.
And she is a psychologist.
She's a psychologist. She's a doctor, Dr. BT.
Dr.
We
BT.
love her. She's a phenomenal person. But my dad was just so amazed today. We ordered some juice from her, and I was telling him all the other things that she did, and he was like, "Y'all's generation, y'all are about y'all paper, like,
You have
and
to
that's
be.
it. Y'all are always on y'all's grind. Y'all can do multiple things at multiple times, and." At the same time, that frustrates them, you know, because it's like y'all can't focus on
Like
one
focus,
thing,
yes,
or y'all
yes.
y'all think that y'all can just rush to the top or whatever when they've set these guidelines. So I think it's just uncomfortable for them because
they've never
set,
seen it done.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
just, they never saw it done.
I think
and-
that's a good point, though, because
Yeah.
the focus part, I think that's
Oh,
a
that's
huge
absolutely.
flaw
We
of
don't
millennials.
focus.
That's a
We
huge.
don't focus.
That's why everybody's so overdosed and doped up on ADHD and
Adderall.
ADD medicine,
Seriously.
Adderall. You know,
Seriously.
Mary Jane, everything
For
else.
sure.
Like you can't. It's so
Mary
hard.
Jane, sweetie.
It's you know what, it's so hard sometimes for you to just narrow in and say, look, I need to take care of this, and then I'm gonna take care of this, and then I'm gonna take care
Right.
of that.
Yes,
You
but
know?
I think it's just the day and age we live in. Like we don't know how to live in the moment. We're just so like going at 100 miles
Yeah.
per
Take a
hour, like a
picture.
road runner. You know,
Yeah.
because we have
wanna
so
take a
much
picture,
standards that
sweetie?
we're putting ourselves to. Like, oh my gosh, I see so many people that are having their own businesses, being very successful, not working for corporate, and it's like I want to have that. You
And
know?
it's like, this is my issue. And I think it's because I am very talented at a lot of different things. So for me,
She
I'd be
is.
like,
Valid.
oh, I can do that.
Right.
Like, I can do that, and I can do
learn
that,
how
and
to
I can
do
do
that.
that. And I can learn how to do that.
Absolutely.
But that's also a curse because it's like, then I'm like all over the place and I get
Right.
nothing done,
Absolutely.
or I do nothing well.
'Cause at that
So
point, what
that's
are you
what I'm
gonna
learning
master?
about. That was part of
Yeah.
my question. Like, I'm trying to really focus in and hone in on, just because I can do it doesn't mean I should be doing it.
For sure.
Even if I enjoy it doesn't mean that I should be doing it, or it's just not right now I should be doing it. So like trying to
Timing.
categorize,
Timing,
those
for sure.
things, and timing for sure, just whatever the Lord wants to give you at that time, or you know, your plans change and things like that. But for sure, I think that's.
Do we get a chance to answer both questions why we chose the name? And I forgot the second
Well,
one.
So can we
part.
give? It was. How did you all end up with the name Press? I'm gonna let Tasha answer that one.
Okay, yeah, and I really okay. You know what's crazy is I was actually in Kansas. It
Wait,
was around,
pause. So for whoever, if I'm pretty sure there's people out there who's like, what press? Like that's such a millennial word. Kind of elaborate on what that is.
Yeah, and actually, it's weird because as you know, Cardi B, our fave, has a song called "Press, Press, Press." So that's what she
Queen
means.
Cardi.
Harry.
That's what she was saying as far as like it is a new word, a lit word. You know what I'm saying right now. So, but when I heard it, I actually heard it from a sermon. I actually was in Kansas for Thanksgiving, and
Shout out to Kansas.
And I was right, Wichita, Kansas.
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Y'all will know in a minute why I said that. But anyway, so so I was in Kansas. I was listening to a sermon. T.D. Jakes' church, the Potter House. His wife was actually up speaking before he got into his sermon, and she had just went through this health scare, and the Lord literally healed her like super quickly. Like the doctors were amazed as to how fast she got healed and things like that. And she was just saying how, you know, sometimes you have to be pressed down, or like, you know, stretched,
That's
or
good.
you know, that type of thing. And so that's what first brought the word into my memory. But then also just like, what are you pressed about? Like when we talk about being pressed, is because we're like, what's on your heart?
Right.
What's
the pressing you?
What's bothering you?
What keeps you up
What's
at night?
pushing
Right.
you? What's keeping you up at night? What's pushing you, pressing you to the limit? What's pressing you towards your goal? I mean, it could be used in so many different ways that I think that it was just the perfect word.
Yeah.
I mean, and then of course it looks really cute on our shirts and things like that.
I think the cool thing
But
though,
I think that's where I got
it
that's
means
where I
so
got
many
the word
it means
from.
so many
It
things.
say
means so
whatever.
many things. And when she said it, I was like, that is so true. You do have to be pressed to a
Right.
certain and stretched to a certain capacity. And I feel like all of my friends, not even outside of these people who are just sitting right here, all of my friends are super talented, super, you know, we're all Christian women. And we are all human. We all get pressed about something. We all are pressed to do something, or, you know, so I just think that it's a great word. We're going to be able to use the word in so many different contexts and so many different lights. So I'm excited that we chose this word. We had other names. We had like Connect 4, which we can still use. So that you might see
don't
that.
steal it.
No,
We're
still
not
it.
gonna give nobody other names.
But it's
Right.
okay. But I'm just saying we had other names.
Yeah.
We had the click.
We had the click.
But we
Right.
really wanted the click because y'all remember that song, Ain't Nobody With My Click.
That was a
click,
super
click.
cute.
And I really
Right,
wanted
right.
that to be.
But
but we couldn't brand that. So pressed.
But I
won.
think pressed is us.
But pressed
Pressed
is
is
us.
so
Pressed is so us. We
us.
use
because what
it,
we're not
so
going to be
us.
is pressed over.
and we
just
use it so much
you.
now that we have it as a brand. So I hope y'all don't get sick of us talking about being pressed or
get
the
sick.
word pressed.
Actually
but-
get sick.
Get sick.
Sorry. So yeah,
Get
that's kind of where we're
sick.
at. But yeah,
All right,
that's
you
where we got the
wanna
name from.
you wanna spit out our purpose real quick? Our purpose words.
Our purpose words.
Yeah, she did.
it. I did it.
Did you spit
Connect.
it out?
Do y'all want to know again?
Yeah.
We can talk about it again. Cultivate, converse, and connect.
Oh,
So
I'll
we
do
talked
the
about 'em.
converse part because we
Yeah.
didn't talk about that.
And I'll talk about Connect too, because I mean we kind of
Talk
touched
about
it.
Connect.
But
Yeah,
we're
okay,
gonna
so
connect.
conversing. So this podcast, okay, I don't know if you guys, if you're listening to this because you love us and you've never listened to podcasts, podcasts are basically a platform for people, like a radio show, to do what we're doing right now, just banter, talking, things like that. So for us, we're going to have so many different topics. Like, we're not going to pre-plan them out because we want them to be kind of current event, what's going on with us,
Yeah.
a little millennial topics, things that you should know about politically as a young person, because a lot of times we as millennials, we tune out to
For
the news.
example, those memes y'all are throwing all around about all of our baby troops, y'all.
Oh, goodness,
yeah.
that's really sad.
Y'all
I
are
can't
low
You know
key
what's
tripping,
crazy?
but
I went to go pick up one of my friends from the airport 2 days ago, and it was just swarmed with
Really?
soldiers.
My
And
heart.
then I was like, I was almost I mean, I did. I
Yeah.
teared up and I almost cried because I see all of those kids and they were like, they had to be no older than 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And then I start watching the news and I heard that we're shipping out 7,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, like that's a bulk of them right there. And you just got to realistically think about sometimes as millennials, we don't take shit serious enough.
we play
that
too
just kinda
much.
goes
We
back
play
to
too
it.
much. We
Yeah.
play too
And
much.
we're oblivious to a lot of
Yes,
stuff.
and it's
I
one
mean,
of those things like if it's not
if it's
happening
not on social
directly
media,
to me,
right.
if it's not happening directly to me or anybody
Right.
in my
Yeah.
family, like I don't care, it's a joke. But it's like
Yeah.
once it happens to you, oh, now it's an issue. And
Right.
it's like,
It hurts a little bit
you
more.
know what I'm saying?
You know
And
what
it
I
can't
mean?
be both.
Yeah.
Like you have to be able to show compassion, empathy. Like this is not a
Yeah.
joke. Like this is real life. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really know the direction in which it's gonna go.
And not
Right.
compassion after the fact, not the compassion
Correct.
after you hurt someone or after you make somebody feel some type of way.
Yeah. 'Cause
I
Compassion
know
beforehand.
my dad has
Yeah.
served in the military. He just actually retired this year, 30 years. Shout out, Dad.
Congrats.
Right. Shout out all the armed services.
Yes.
Shout out all the armed services because we are very thankful for that.
seriously.
We love y'all.
Seriously.
Very much.
Literally.
Seriously, so I couldn't even imagine like try to take my daddy like that. Skirt.
Bring it back, sweetie.
It's not happening. So again, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I did laugh at first, but then once I kind of took it in. I don't know if you guys saw that meme where they had like the church and everybody was like praying at the altar. Once I saw that one, I was like, okay, this is like no longer.
Y'all going too far.
Like I can't laugh at that. Like
right.
It's really sad.
So yeah, those will be the types of conversations that we have. We're not all going to talk about. I mean, we are going to have pop culture, celebrities, things that millennials care about, entrepreneurship. It's going to be so much
all over the place.
Yeah, right. So basically, creating conversations that are relevant to us, and that's
we're about to have so much fun.
Yeah, we're about to have so much fun.
Yeah, and then in regards to the connect part, you guys, we really want to be sharing with you guys about 90% of our lives and about 90% of the stuff in which we really believe in our viewpoints. We may not always agree on it, but we're going to respect people's opinions and allow this to be a safe place to be able to express what you have to say about that topic.
Right.
Correct. And so kind of segueing a little further into the connect aspect, we do definitely do different things, but Dallas is so big and we kind of want to make it smaller. So bringing in people that have experienced different things in which we're talking about, I think it will allow you guys to have resources on ways to handle those type of things. So prime example, if and when we do decide to talk about a topic called cheating, we may bring in a therapist, or we may bring in a couple that has kind of worked through cheating. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times our mind is like, oh, he cheated, it's time to go. You know, but in some cases you just really don't.
In marriage, you
sweetie.
Really can't.
You
like,
just,
you
know
need
what I'm
to
saying?
like work that thing out.
You made a promise at that altar.
So I want to have it again, a safe place where you can see how to process that.
Yeah.
What that looks like.
Giving you some tools and resources. I love that. Yeah.
Right.
So
for
just kind of look on the app for that.
People that are more educated about that topic versus just, because obviously we can we don't know. Like,
absolutely.
Like a marriage, I can't tell you the first or the last thing about a marriage because guess what? I'm not married.
Absolutely.
But we can bring in a pastor.
Never been there.
Never been there.
Right.
That's new to me. What's that?
Absolutely.
Where is it?
We just really, really, really want to connect because again, Dallas is so big, but we don't want to, we're not going to become celebrities. I mean, we might.
Sweetie. I am a celebrity.
We want to make sure that we're like, we want to make sure like we're personal to you guys. Like, like we want to make sure that you are feeling like you're talking to like your homegirl or your sister or your cousins. Like if it's just like girl talk on the couch. What is the tea? One more sip.
Not even just girl talk. Don't. Look.
Okay, sorry, not girl talk. Because Ari said we're gonna have
You're
fellas.
Right.
You're right. I'm just so used
Shout
to
out
saying
to
girl
the men.
talk. I need to change my vocab.
Yeah, change your
How do I say
vocab.
it? Tea talk. Tea talk.
I don't know. I don't even have to have a
Talk
cute
time.
name.
Talk
We chill.
It doesn't even matter if you shout out the guys or not because I'm pretty sure they're still going to listen regardless.
Yeah.
They
be
watching.
A universal show. This is for
Universal
men and
show
women.
for
Don't think that because we have
unisex vibe.
Honestly, we're probably gonna have more male listeners than
we have a lot of guys show up at the event.
You better put that in.
We did.
we have more
I feel
guys
like
at the
we
event
had
than
more
girls.
guys at our launch party than we had
We
females.
had
a lot.
About, how many people did we say we had? 60 people.
We had about 60 to 65.
people.
Y'all
Oh my
so
gosh.
much. Thank y'all.
Can we take a clap for that? Like, yes. Mind you, let's put this in perspective. We had 60 people come to our actual launch. We didn't even have one episode recorded.
No.
It was basically us doing word of mouth, having our friends come out, and that just shows that they like respect us, but they're excited.
Very much so.
They want to see what we can bring to the table. We're really excited / nervous, but
/
just shows that like this could really blow up.
Yeah. And
We're about to
we're excited though.
I'm not gonna say it's not because it will, because we are genuine people.
Absolutely.
We love each other. I mean, we are genuine friends. We didn't just randomly pop up, and we're going to talk about that in a second.
Correct.
But how we became friends. But we're inclusive. We don't want people to think that like you can't be a part of our group or you can't. Yeah, you can sit with us. We love this is what this table is about, is because we want y'all to come sit with us
and kind of definitely give us feedback too, because we want to know like, is there something that you want us to talk about or something that we did talk about that you want us to dive deeper in? Definitely bring that to our attention, because we want to make sure that we are giving you guys what you want. You guys are our listeners, so we want to make sure that everything that we do is
want to grow.
Correct.
Like we want to grow individually and
absolutely.
as a group.
And I think that was at the event. One of the questions Gabby answered it, I think, but it was just about like, and I actually think your mom prompted the question about are we going to put our real lives out here? What percent of our lives are we going to be real about? You know what I'm saying?
That's scary, to be honest. Like, it is scary to like give your authentic self, because you never know how it's going to be retrieved. Like, I can be on here talking about a situation that a listener that I'm talking about may be hearing it, so it's like, where are the guidelines? Where is it too far? I'm sharing too much. But in the same sense,
it's
like,
my life. It happened to me.
Like I want.
And I think as long as we respect people with not giving names or, super specific things that other people would be able to, I think it's totally fine, because like you said, it's a part of your story.
Right. No one take anything too serious. We're just speaking from our lives. No hard feelings. It's all love across the table.
But if you do want to be shout out, let us know.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely shout you guys out.
Shout you out. Give you all
We'll
the
shout your
love.
business out.
Seriously.
Give you all the flowers.
Absolutely. So I think that we've kind of gone over the name. While we're doing this, I think it's kind of important that we kind of get
How
into
did we meet?
We got to get into our intros first. Like, they don't really know us. Know us.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Sweetie, she's somebody. Let's hear about it.
Testing.
You're
1,
right.
2, 3. Okay, so I'll kind of start the intro. So my name is Gabby. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. A lot of people would kind of say I'm a Texas native now just because I've been here for a while, but I don't agree. So we're going to stick with from Cali. Day I die, baby. And how do we meet? So first I met Tasha first. We actually go to the same church, one community church in Dallas. And we are currently in the same life group together. We're doing life together, as well as she's genuinely like one of my friends. And then how I met Ari was sitting next to Tasha. Last year we actually went to DC and New York to celebrate both of their birthdays. And Ari and I kind of grew our relationship there. And then Avina kind of at the end, we knew of each other because Tasha would mention both of our names to one another.
Right.
And I remember one time we were out just kind of at a social, and I was like looking at her. I'm like, I know who she is. Like, let me go speak to. Let me go speak to her. Like, that's my sis. I'm like, hey girl. She's like, yeah. Like, I didn't even have to say my name. She knew exactly who I was.
I was
you
gonna
know?
say because I think we ran into each other,
Yeah.
and we were at some club we're not gonna mention.
Yeah,
but
'cause
we
they
were
ain't paying us.
right. We were out, and I was
Correct.
like, oh my god, she looks so familiar. That's
Yes.
Gabby. That's Tasha's friend.
Correct.
Like,
It was like magnets. Like, it wasn't like
Meshed.
awkward. And we even FaceTime Tasha like, we're friends.
You ain't here.
Oh, she hate that. She hate that.
She
She
did.
hates
She was
being
like,
left out.
She be so
that's
mad,
just
y'all.
what it is.
No.
You're the glue to us, Tosh. We
You're
love
right,
you.
you're right, you're
Valid.
Glue.
Literally, all my friends are friends, so I don't even.
You can. It's nothing you could do. And then lastly, what I do for a living, I work in the healthcare industry doing medical sales. So
Perfect.
Down
well,
to you.
I'm Latasha. I am originally from Wichita, Kansas. Like I said earlier, I've been here in Dallas for about 11 years, maybe, maybe even 12. Coming up on 12 this
See,
year,
yeah, people like
which is
Texas
super
native.
crazy. I came here just to get out of Kansas because it's Wichita, Kansas, and my sister had moved here a year prior, so it was just easy. I came to finish school. I thought I was gonna, be here for a couple of years, finish school, and then move like to California or something. Maybe I would have met you there. But I didn't. I'm here. I just bought a house in January. I am a realtor. I am a real estate, both commercial, investment, and residential real estate. So if you know anyone who's buying, selling, or leasing at home, please let me know. Send them to me. But I do that. I do
Real
so
quick.
many different things. I don't even know what I should even mention on here that I
What
do.
don't you do
because
is probably
I'm
a
trying
shorter
to
list.
focus my attention. So that's why I said I don't know if I'm gonna say everything, but real estate is my number one thing right now because that's what I'm gonna focus on this year. So if you see me focusing on anything other than these podcasts, I have another podcast with my cousin, Unicorn Social. Shout out to them. Shout out to us, me. But yeah, I have another podcast. So I'm going to focus on these two podcasts and real estate. That's going to pretty much be my focus this year. So I'm not even going to mention the other items. If you follow me on Instagram, Lux Living at Latasha, you can kind of figure all the other stuff out. So yeah.
You do like a
and then
major.
corporate. Oh, I do that corporately. Corporately, I work in commercial real estate. Yeah. So that's who I am.
You like plugged like 5 things, like
know.
real
Right.
estate,
And that wasn't
my other podcast,
That's why I was
my
like,
other.
She's
yeah.
like,
Those
you
are
want me
the
to
only
do
things
my
I'm
top
gonna-
5?
Right,
Or
how am I supposed to follow that up?
Maybe I should have said
Baby
some
girl,
more.
how am I supposed to follow that up?
Should I
I'm
have
just-
said some more?
Tasha,
I'm
you
very
probably should have went
nervous.
last.
I'm very shook. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm left-handed. Should I add something else?
Well, I'm Ari. What am I supposed to say?
Baby
first?
Ari.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby. Yes, the baby. I am from Houston, Texas. Some of y'all
H-Town.
gonna get on here and try to play me. I'm from Katy. But we're gonna rep the H, okay? And I met them. Tasha was first, of course, because she's the glue. We actually met at church. Someone just linked us up, and
Literally, I was running around church,
Head cut off like a
this
chicken.
other lady named Tasha. She was like, "Hey, Tasha, come here," and I was like, "Okay," in the middle of my stride, and she was like, "This is Ari."
We both
She
looking at
just-
each other
this is her
crazy,
first day at
like,
the church. First day at
okay.
church. This is Ari. Can she walk around with you? Can she just follow you? And I'm like,
Yeah, no.
very weird.
"Sure, yeah." And literally from that day, like
Inseparable.
inseparable.
Right.
Literally.
So,
And then
thanks,
Gabby,
Tosh.
Gabby kind of already talked about how we know each other. We went on the trip together, and
Amazing
then
trip.
Avina, Tasha just happened to have us in the same place
Mhm.
together, and it
Man.
was just
Big mistake.
big old mistake.
Hasn't
Woo.
been the same since.
So we have a lot in common.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
Okay.
And then my career. This is very sketchy topic, honestly. I have
Who touched into that?
I do have a t-shirt business. I've made all of our
merch.
I made all of our merch.
For sure.
Follow us.
Merch.
Follow us. You can see all of our merch. And what else do I do, y'all? I really can do everything. I'm kind of like Tasha. I'm literally like Tasha. But honestly, my career is coming soon. I can't tell y'all about it. I don't want to speak on it.
To be continued.
But we got some blessings coming. We got some interviews
Benefits,
showing up. God been showing out
benefits.
So, more than benefits, y'all. We about to show out. God's about to show out in 2020. So I have some things coming soon. And as soon as I find out, as soon as I have the news on that, I will let y'all know. So there's that.
Yay! So then they just chose to end with me.
Best for last. The best for last.
All right. So my name's Avina. Born and raised Dallas, Texas. I love it here. I'm probably not gonna leave. I
never gonna leave.
I love the convenience.
She left for college and came right back.
Came right back because that was about it. No, really though, I really do love Dallas. I love Texas in general. So I am a little corporate baby. I love corporate America. I thrive there. I really I love people. You know, that's my feel. That's my vibe. So that's what I do. I'm not probably going to touch on that too much. So just get to know that now. Because this is not all y'all business.
That's the 10%. That's the 10% we're gonna leave out.
That's my 10% that I'm gonna leave over here because I gotta hide and divide my personal and my professional life.
Right. There you go. Corporate Bay. Just know that.
But no, really though, when I met these three ladies, basically all of my encounterments, well, all three of them were just kind of like a puzzle piece. They were a magnet and they just flowed very, very well. Ari, we just flowed so much because we have so much in common. Tasha, one way or another, we were going to be friends.
Right.
I have ties to Wichita, Kansas. So one way or another,
the universe was pulling y'all together.
We were going to make it happen. And then Gabby, Gabby's like that burst of energy and that friend that you always want around.
Gabby's what you need too.
She needs all the vibes.
Gabby, but not my mutual friends too.
We really do,
so
unfortunately.
That's definitely a thing too.
Right. Yeah. So
perfect.
Well, I guess we've kind of talked about how we started the podcast, why we chose the podcast, and like how we're all friends. I guess that kind of segues us into our first topic.
Yeah.
In regards to your circle. Again, let me take a sip.
Your squad.
What do people call it? Your circle, your squad,
your
gang,
group.
What is it? Your friend
I like
girl?
circle. I feel like that's classy, but still kind of cool.
Circle?
Yeah,
okay.
circle.
Yeah.
I feel like
Everything
I'm going to
else
call
is
mine I guess I can go circle for now. We'll do circle for now.
For now.
I say sub family because
that's
my friends are my family, and if I can't treat you like my family, guess what? You're not gonna be my friend.
I agree.
Very true.
I definitely agree. So I guess I kind of have a question for you guys. So in regards to your circle, do you feel like you pick your circle, or do you feel like it's kind of meshed together?
Authentically.
There you go. Well, I almost had a tongue twister over here.
I definitely, I'm a vibes person.
Okay, for sure.
And I literally have a gift of discernment. Like when people walk up to me, I just feel their energy and I just know if they're going to be good for me. So I feel like the universe and like God just kind of pulls people together, and then you kind of pick and choose from those people who you want to deal with, who you think is going to speak positively, who you think is going to be a good influence in your life. And for me personally, I've been super blessed. I have always prayed. My mom taught me to pray over my friendships and the relationships that I'm in because they're very important. They can break you or they can make you. And ever since I think I was a senior in high school, I prayed. I was like, Lord, I need good friends. And all of my friends, shout out to my college friends, Danielle, Yasmin, and Joy, like I met them right before I got to school, and we've been thick as thieves ever since. Like I haven't had any hiccups. We don't fight, we don't argue, and that's nothing but just God and me choosing and me having those vibes. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I definitely think you more so choose than anything, if that makes sense.
Okay, you Tosh.
Definitely agree with the choosing part. I think I am truly blessed. Like I said, all of my friends are friends. So a lot of my friends have spawned from other friendships, which automatically tells me that we're going to vibe. We're going to have good, conversation back and forth. Like, because if my friend, if one of these people bring an outsider person,
trust them?
We're instant friends until otherwise, noted.
So you try it,
but I know
sweetie.
I know that their character wouldn't choose another person to join our circle whose character doesn't align with ours.
Absolutely.
So I think that's one of the main things when I do choose my friends. I don't want anybody who's super messy, anybody who's super emotional, because I am a friend that we may not talk all the time, but like
she could never.
Messy?
She's talking about anybody that's super messy. She's talking about you. I could never be messy.
I'm
She's
not
always
messy.
trying to do. Talking about me.
Oh, I was gonna say wait.
And
Hold
I'm
up.
not even messy, sweetie.
But yeah,
First of all,
I think that I lost my train of thought secretly.
Sorry.
But I think that that's super important to me is if my friends are cool with you, like some of my closest friends from college, shout out to Chancey. I met her through another friend. I don't know. I've just been super blessed to have friends who connect well. I mean, these people hang out with each other outside of me, so it has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing
I think those things are important. I think females in general have a hard time connecting with females, either through competition or just cattiness or whatever the case may be. And I can tell you honestly, none of my friends I've never gotten into with my friends where we can't be friends anymore. Like there may be times we have a little, might go to a bar or something. Somebody might have a couple of drinks. We might have a couple of words. That's very, very rare. Very, very rare. Rare. But I'm able to articulate the things that I want to say to my friends. It's a safe place. Absolutely. It's a place where I can go for encouragement and motivation, like you said earlier. I just think it's a whole bunch of different things, but it's very, very important. Very, very important that you choose your friends. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Avina, you?
I feel like the universe brings you together, but you get to choose how close you stay to that person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because like some people, they're really more so like associates and not really necessarily your friends.
Right.
And I think there's also different levels of friendships with, because some of your friends, they know a little bit more of your intimate things. They know more of the details. They know like the nitty gritty, and I do think it's good for you to run into friends that you don't need. Because
absolutely.
if you don't run into that, you're not gonna know.
Yeah, you don't know what that looks like.
You don't know what that looks like, and it's gonna. When you build a relationship with one of your friends and it breaks,
it should break your heart.
It does break your heart, because that should almost, to me, I value, and this is really like, I'm not gonna get emotional, but this is really near and dear to my heart. My friendship, y'all know, I value my friendships so much. Like, unfortunately, I've always been told that I value my friendships more than I value my relationships.
You want to know what's crazy about that? I was talking to my mom. Well, we always have this conversation, and she always asks.
Shout out to Jilly.
Yeah,
we love Jilly.
She always asks me, what did she say? Oh, why would you, how are you doing all of that for your friend? Like, I can't believe you would do that. Yeah, I can't believe you would do that much for that person. And not in a rude way, but she's like, why are you breaking yourself down to do, this and this and that for that person? And I have to explain to her, my mom met my dad when she was 17. These are my boyfriends. Like, not that y'all are boys, but y'all are the people that have been there for me, that have taught me, that have walked with me, that have shared with me all of these moments.
They see you broken.
They see me broken. They see me put together. They, everything.
Yeah.
So I just have to tell her, like, not that of course, when God sends someone into my life that is my man, we're going to pray for him right now.
Dear Heavenly Father.
Bow your head.
Right, bow your head for a moment of silence. When he sends that person, that'll be great. And of course, I will have to, just figure out what that balance looks like. But the reason that I will do anything for my friends is simply because they have been that glue for me. They have been those people for me. And that's all I know right now.
Well, my friends outlast any man I've ever had. So for me,
hit this table.
Almost just. But on a serious note, like, for real,
I'm dead.
I've been I have my best friend Emily. I've been friends with her since we were 11 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
I know Kelly. I've been
Kelly.
Kelly.
Kai named my child. You know what I mean? So it's like, you've been friends with these people for so long. And it's kind of like, of course you're going to value them so much more. Yeah. And I think, and for me, like I said, that's so near and dear to my heart. I tie my friends into my personal life so much. That it's hard to untwine that. It's really hard to unravel that.
And like, you do have to do that. It breaks
and
your
when
heart.
when you let somebody in and they disappoint you, it's crucial.
It's like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a really bad breakup.
It's because you chose that person. Like, I chose you to be in my life.
I chose to reveal this to you.
And then you did this.
Right. Like, I chose to reveal this to you. I let down all my walls. I had a vulnerable moment with you. And then, like, you're going to go back and do X, Y, and Z.
That hurts when you're vulnerable with somebody and you break it.
Yeah.
It's a relationship. It's the ultimate relationship.
It really is.
It's the ultimate relationship.
I agree. And, like, that kind of, like, again, kind of goes to the point. Like, it's very important to be cautious of your circle / community, because it's like, at the end of the day, these are people that you're gonna share your good times with and your bad times with. And so if you have people that you classify as like your circle and you can't do both, have your highs and your low, like, are they really part of your circle, or are they just kind of having a placement in there? You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. What? Do we need? Okay, so I think that's a segue, Gabby. I think you hit it.
Y'all, Gabby.
All right. So we were supposed to do this at the beginning, but you know, we're women, we go off topic.
I mean, we're just flowing.
We just let it flow, come natural. All right, so we have a little quote from the late great Nipsey.
R.I.P.
Lord. Okay. So the quote is, if you look at the people in your circle and you don't get inspired, then do you have a circle or do you have a cage?
Listen,
That cage part hits so deep.
It hits so deep.
like, and this is probably, I don't count this as like a good quality of myself, but I am the key. Like, baby, you do something wrong, yeah.
Yeah, me
You,
too.
yeah.
It's almost
You-
a defense mechanism.
It's
you
not
know
even,
what
I
I mean?
don't have to have a conversation with you because at the end of the day, like, you know who I am, you know the expectation I put up front. Like,
You
we're gonna-
chose. You
we're
chose
gonna
to
be,
do that.
We're going to be here together. You know, if you
Yeah, for
deviate
sure.
from this plan, it shows that you don't want to be here. So what I,
You made it here.
I will make a decision for you. I will remove you from the situation.
Right.
It's no need to have
I'm
a conversation.
I'm
you
a
know?
ghost.
I don't have to have a conversation with you because I'm very serious about the people that I share my life with. Tasha and I are in life group together. You know, like, I'm like the private of all privates.
First of all,
okay?
this baby, even the fact that
I'm
she's sitting right here.
Can we take a moment?
Can we please take a moment?
Can
Because
we
this
acknowledge
baby
that
I
here,
don't do cameras.
she is
I
so
don't
particular
do this.
about the people that. That's why even
Very
when
private.
she agreed, like when she had texted her when we were
I
here,
know.
she responded so quickly. I was like, she don't even.
What?
Because this, like, let me break
So,
down why I'm
please.
private. I'm private for two reasons. One, I'm private because I never
Which
want.
is not a bad thing. It's not a bad
it's
thing.
really
It's been helping me
not.
for
But you
27,
are
going on
an
28.
extremely.
I know. I'm getting better.
private.
I
You
have-
are
I
getting.
have-
getting
I
way
am
better.
Getting
Better.
I
You're getting way
shared
better.
the little panel,
Yeah.
you know, but that's nor here nor there. If you missed it, next time. But why I'm so private is really two reasons. First reason being because I never want people to be able to hear what I'm talking about and use that as like a pity party. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that you bet. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need that. Second reason
Right.
are I don't ever want what I'm sharing in an intimate moment to be talked about in a different setting when I'm not there.
Correct.
And talked about in two different ways. Talked about if it's like, oh yeah, I know someone that experienced the same thing. Gabby went through X, Y, and Z, or like a double back, like a recap. Like, girl, did you hear what Gabby said the
Neither
other
way,
day?
I don't wanna
You know,
yeah.
I don't really like.
I'm not interested in that.
I don't really like that. You know, so I'm real particular
Yeah.
of what I share and who I share it to. Everything ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
So I have
And
a
I
friend.
think that's another key thing about friendships. It's like,
Correct.
who
Yeah.
can you
Correct.
Who can you trust to protect your information? Like,
Absolutely.
when you tell somebody something, like, that is, first of all, it was already a vulnerable moment for you to even
Yes.
say the thing that you said.
Yes.
Number two, like, to choose, because, like, all of my friends, most of my friends know all my business, but there's certain friends who know certain things about me that
Correct.
other friends just don't.
Yeah.
And it's not because I chose to tell that person something that I didn't want the other person to know. That other person may find out later, but to your point, I don't want you to tell this person something that I would have told her anyway. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so that goes to that point. But I just think that that protection of your privacy, of your feelings, of allowing somebody into you. And I think that's one of the things that I wanted. I'm glad that we are here now, because when I first met you in life group, I could tell that you were super closed off, and I knew that you were cool.
Yeah.
Like, I knew we
Yeah.
were going to be friends. We hung out the first time we
It's like a warm up. No, but it's a warm up. I have to, like,
it
you
was
know.
so normal,
warm
but
up.
it takes a little time. And I think I heard this at church, that, like, in order to have someone's trust, you have to spend time with them. So
Amen.
Yeah.
we have been spending a lot more time, you know,
Yes.
together. And so that's probably why she is more open with me than she is with other people. But that protection thing of your information and
Listen,
your heart
I
and your
don't.
feelings,
You
and
have to
all
do that.
Like, that's key for
Because you
friendship.
can't, but you can't, like, even when people are just so open to tell you all their business off
Listen.
that doesn't scare
That
y'all.
is
That's
scary.
kind of spooky.
That's scary.
Like,
Yeah.
do y'all
Yeah.
live in October? That's spooky season.
Well, because
Like,
if they
I'm
don't,
spooky
if they don't
season.
have any boundaries, then that's
They don't have any
that
boundaries
shows you
with
a
your
little bit.
information.
Yeah, and it might be an
Yes.
insecurity on their part, something that they just need to work on, because I'm never the type of person to just judge you. I know that
Yes.
everything, there's a root to everything, you know?
Yes.
So I'm not judging a person that does that. But it does make me step back, like, okay, why are you doing that? I need to figure out, as a friend or as a person that might be willing to or want to invest in you, what is your deal?
What's the why?
But
Yeah.
when Nipsey said, I'm going to bring it back to the quote, when he said, if you're not inspired, then you're in a cage. That's like, y'all have to protect who's in y'all circle.
Correct.
Not what y'all tell them, not those things. It's like, if you're not inspired by those people aren't doing things that make you feel like you need to elevate yourself. So you're in a cage, which basically he's saying if you're not inspired, you're going to stay right where you at for as long as you hanging out with people.
I mean, you are who you hang out with.
You are who you hang out with.
Yeah.
So if they're not inspiring you, I'm telling you, these 3 ladies inspire me. And I am the baby, so I mean, it's a given. I'm the baby. But y'all inspire me, you know, like whether it's corporately, is corporately a word? I kind of just tried it.
Well, you made it.
I
It's
just
fine.
made it up. Okay.
You made it.
It's fine.
It flowed with the conversation. You know, whether it's in corporate life, whether it's spiritually, whether it's health, you know, Avina is always working out. She meal preps. I mean, I don't know if she want to get back into that.
You better stop.
She can cook. But yeah, like they inspire me, and that it's almost embarrassing to come to them and be like, oh, I'm not getting to the next level today, or I'm not doing what I told you I was going to do yesterday, or I'm not, you know, the things that you work so hard to hold me accountable for, I'm not doing those things. That's a slap in the face to them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's like those people have to inspire you, and they have to, you know, set the bar for you so that you feel like you're not in a cage. You can fly. You can be free. You can, you know, you can elevate to that next level, and we all going together.
So like,
Go ahead. I had a question for you, Vina.
for 2 things for me is I'm really, really big at protecting my peace.
Yes.
So I go back to what you said, that, you know, that first red flag, I'm out.
Yes.
You know, for
That's
some
how I am
reason, I give a lot of people second, third, 25, 72
And
chances.
I'm not that person.
You know what I mean?
Do it.
I can't believe
I
you're like
won't
that. I'm
do
not
it.
like that.
And I have to do a better job personally of protecting my peace, and that's something that I'm forever going to be working on.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, I let you get in and I let you rub me the wrong way so many times. Eventually, I get to that point where when I cut you off, I cut you off.
It's like people come
it
into
is.
your life and you don't make them earn your trust. You give it to them. And then
Right.
when they mess it up, you take it away and it's no going back.
Right.
And I feel like for me, that's what I do. But I've been trying to work on it because it's a happy medium. People do make mistakes.
Absolutely.
People do things. And I do not allow room for mistakes. And I need to work on that because I know that's why I'm not in a relationship right now. Because men, you know, if you want to be with a man, he's going to make a mistake. And you're going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And you don't want him to dip on you or you to dip on them
Right.
the first time you do something that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Right.
Or that you know, or the first time you.
I think there's like obvious things, like, you know, like, let me give an example. So like, if Tasha, you and I are friends, if we had a appointment to go to dinner and you didn't show up, okay, I ain't gonna cut you off. I am gonna be a little bad, you know what I'm saying? Dinner on you next time, okay?
But you better send a text.
Right. Listen.
Respect my
now,
time.
in the instance where like me and you are friends and you know that I don't like X, Y, and Z, but you purposely put me in that environment or something, it's like you don't respect me enough to not put me there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and on those grounds, you got to go.
But at that point, I do feel like just because I feel like everybody is in your life for a reason. I know we said we just drop them like flies. I try to do a better do a better job at letting that person know this is what you did that counted you out. Only because I feel like I have a responsibility to let you know so that in your next relationship,
correct,
you know, because I do care about you at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
I don't hate
if
you.
I chose you, I care about you.
I don't think
I'm
that
not
you're a
trying
terrible
to
person.
just,
I might not feel comfortable dealing
Right.
with you in this part, in this season of my life because I can't handle the hurt that you did to me.
Yeah.
But I do love you enough to tell you, hey, this is what you did that rubbed me the wrong way, and we can't do that no more. You know, the next person that you're dealing with, you can't. We're gonna work on that.
2020.
We're gonna work on that.
Have the conversation.
Have the
my
conversation.
thing
It's a
is-
simple conversation.
My question to
Transparency.
the group is, how do you feel about having to remove friends? Like, because adding friends is
It's
easy,
easy.
but removing friends, like, because it caught me what you said about seasons of life. Like, you just may not particularly be
Yes.
in a season of life where, like, we can be friends right now. Like,
Yeah.
no hard feelings. Nothing could
Right.
have happened. We didn't have to get into it because I'm not a confrontational person.
Right.
I'm not. My energy level is so important to me these days that, like, I just can't even allow myself to, like, get riled up, my blood pressure about little silly things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just, you know, removing a friendship is just as important. Again, to this comment about the cage, is that, like, if you don't remove certain toxic friendships from your circle, you will be in a cage because that person, for whatever reason, may not want to see you grow, may not want to see you learn, may not want to see you be friends with somebody else. You know, and that might be all their personal stuff. It may have nothing to do with you, and you may still be thriving in your general concept of work and corporate and friends or whatever. But it's going to come to a point where you're going to have to, like, really evaluate your circle and start to prune those people, because if not, they will pull you down, whether they're trying to do it or not. It's not. It may even be something super unconscious that they have no idea that they're doing. But if you change, just because you change doesn't mean that the friendship has to stay the exact same. And it may not even be that y'all don't you know, you sever the friendship tie altogether. Just maybe that you don't get invited to certain events because previously when I allowed you to, you know, come to this event, you embarrassed me or you did whatever.
Know how to act right.
You have to know where to place your friends, and I think that's removing people is just as important to your, you know,
or just coming in and out, not in and out of a relationship with people, but just in and out of seasons with people is important too. Because you know there will be some times where, you know, you can't talk to somebody. You talk to somebody every day. You know, me and Avina even go through these phases. We talk every single day. Then we'll go months, you know, and we'll maybe send 2-3 text messages. That doesn't mean I love her any less.
Yeah.
Correct.
It just means that in that season, I didn't have the capacity, or I didn't, you know, whatever it was.
Capacity.
Right.
It's my favorite
capacity.
word.
Bandwidth, that bandwidth or capacity.
Yeah. So you
tough.
have to, and then you also have to be careful how you handle people, just like having that conversation or whatever that looks like. You're not burning a bridge with that person, because if you come back and you have hurt that person or that person has hurt you, it's no going back.
Yes.
Whereas if you just kindly told that person, hey, this is what this looked like for me, maybe when I get to a different point in my life, I can come back and be like, oh, that was a mistake, or that looked like this, you know. Then you can 10 years later, oh, y'all besties again, because you still know that person's character, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think, again, going to the New Year's, a lot of people have a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that are going through, like, I'm cutting you off phase.
Yeah.
So what is the proper way to handle that, aside from having a conversation? Because, again, a lot of people say, well, I'm not a mind reader. I didn't know that one thing in particular really hurts your feelings, and it really hurting your feelings so much that you don't want to be my friend. So, like, what are some tools in which we can kind of give our listeners in order to cut someone off, but
or realize that you need to cut somebody off?
Correct. And making sure that you're putting like a mirror to your face and making sure it's really not you.
Yeah, I feel like that's the whole transparency thing. I should be able to see you like I see through this wine glass right here. Like, I need to give you the truth, and you need to give me the truth right back. Like,
I agree.
Unfortunately, you know, last year I lost a friend that I really thought, you know, I thought I was going to be friends with her for a decade like I am with most of my friends, you know, and that really broke me because I loved her, you know. I shared a lot of vulnerable events and moments with her in my life, and to me the most vulnerable thing that I can do is bring you around my child. You know. So if you lose people and I bring you around my child, and that's my vulnerability stage, like, once you burn me there, you burn me altogether. And I'm not, you know, Ari kind of dipped in and said, well, they might be besties or friends 10 years later. I'm not that person.
Me either. I ain't gonna
when
lie
that
to
bridge
you.
is burned, honey, you're
gonna
not rebuilding that and then get it right back across.
But I'm not saying,
I don't operate that way.
No, I feel that. I'm not saying the person that completely disregarded the boundaries that you set. I'm saying the person that, I can't even think of an example, the person that, you know, kind of tapped, you know, the person that kind of just made a mistake or kind of did something that was out of their character because they might have been going through something. Because that happens. I've done things, even when I snap on y'all don't immediately be like, oh my God, you are not my friend no more. I do not mess with you. You know what I'm saying? So like those people, the people that have done something that in your season, like we said, that word capacity, in that season of your life, you did not have the capacity to nurture them through what they had going on. So you had to pull yourself away for you and for them. So now, you know, in a couple years, it's okay for you to go back to that. It's okay that you might have seen them in a coffee shop, you might have seen them somewhere else, and they're like, oh, hey, how are you? And you feel that,
I mean,
you're not a mean person.
I'm not mean, so I'm not just gonna be walking somewhere and just slap you across your head. But I'm gonna be very cordial with you. But at the same time, just know
we'll never be the same.
We will not. We will not. You will never. You will never. We will not do that. We will. We will just agree with that. We just will not.
I was used lightly. I wasn't saying besties, but I'm saying it's not like the bridge is completely burned. Is what I was saying.
Correct.
Besties was dramatic. I will give myself that. Besties was dramatic.
For me, I feel like like after you have that conversation, kind of letting them know, like, okay, in this season, I don't have the capacity for this. This particular incident really upset me. After you do that, it's kind of like a washing of the hands situation. But after you do that, the people that know that you guys had that bond, they also have a responsibility to you too, and to that other person, to be cautious of who gets invited to what. Cautious of what you're going back and telling that other person of the other person.
Yeah, now that's a hard
listen,
one.
For me, just being vulnerable, I've experienced a lot of friends lost in 2019. I probably lost like 4, 5 friends.
I mean, it's tough.
It's
a hard
realistic.
It is.
Of course, I'll take some of the blame from it. Of course, it's some me, but of course, it's some not me, you know?
Yeah.
But I know when I have to walk away, and I know when I was losing the friendships, things that upset me were my other friends that didn't know how to transition with me. I'm not ever going to say, like, let's rally up. Now, since I don't like them, you don't like them. No, but it's definitely like,
That's a hard
Respect me in
transition
this
for everybody.
season, you know, like let's be mindful of right now. It's a no.
Yeah, Gabby, to like just
That's a
piggyback
good
real
point.
quick. I think a huge part of my friendship that I lost is because we were a lot alike.
Yeah.
And I think that might have broke us. We were so much alike. Like I have never been really, really good friends with any, and I'm not saying I follow the signs, but I'm a big believer.
I kind of follow
You know,
astrology.
I kind of
like
do
it.
a little bit because unfortunately everybody and their whole mother and everybody just in my life is a Capricorn.
The best.
So I
mom's a
mesh with all of
Capricorn.
You're
them.
welcome.
Cap season, and we don't do
You're
no
welcome.
Cap.
Best people
Capricorns
ever.
don't do no Cap.
Anyways,
We
Moving
bring
on.
the best.
I can see you down
Capricorns
there.
Moving
don't
on.
do no
I can see you
Cap.
down there.
no, so really though, I've never been really, really good friends with somebody who's a Taurus, you know, and I'm a Taurus. My birthday is at the end of April, so I've never really been really good friends with someone until, you know, over the past couple of years. And I just thought it was all like, I thought it was amazing because we had so much in common. But at the end of the day, I think that's what broke us.
Yeah.
Is we had, it's kind of like, I don't think you can date someone or be friends with someone who is so much alike you because you have to be able to balance each other. And in
Because
my
once
friendships, I need a balance.
But once you get to, you want to know what I just thought of? Once you get to that breaking point, who's gonna apologize? Like, what does that even look like? You know,
And it's not me, sis. I have too much pride.
But it's
I have
not
too
even-
much
but-
pride.
But do we
it's
need
not
an
the,
apology?
But it's not
Do
the
we need that?
but it's not the apology really. It's not who's going to figure it out. So once you get to that breaking point, if both of y'all are gonna handle the situation exactly the same, identical, because y'all are so much alike, how are y'all gonna figure it out?
No,
Y'all are
there
not
be
gonna
no
figure it out.
apology.
It's Usher for
But
me.
it's not
let
an
it burn.
apology all the time. It's sometimes it could be
A
anything.
misunderstanding.
It could be
Just-
a
It's
misunderstanding.
definitely, again, all the friendships. Listen, all the friends that I lost in 2019, it ain't no bad blood. I still love y'all in my heart. Just right now, we got to have a little distance. But how I feel in some of the relationships that I'm no longer friends with, and I don't mean this shady way, but I don't feel like I've lost anything. Like when I lost like all my friends, I gained my life group, and it's 20 of us. So
Right.
when I lost the
Facts.
4 and I gained 20,
Yeah.
it's no shade, but it was like. It was like God was
'cause shout out
shifting
to
me.
God.
You
know what I'm
know,
saying?
you
Yeah.
know,
To
you
God.
know.
To
Shout out to
Yes.
God, but it was a shift in my life that I knew I had to go ahead and do. And sometimes I definitely like have memories about those people, yes. But what people
Yeah.
have to realize, and this is how I feel, if in fact you want to if you want to mend a relationship, 2 people have to be coming at it at the same percentage wise. I can't
Right.
be
The
giving
same
50.
energy too. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you-
Correct. If
Yeah.
you and it's
If
like
you're
we're gonna-
coming-
correct. If I'm coming and I'm saying like, hey, all on the table. This is how I feel like the situation went. This mic is killing me. This is how I feel like the situation went. This is where I feel like my faults are, and you can't do the same. But yet you switch it and still flipping it on me and making it like an attack. It's like, okay, you're not ready.
Like,
yet.
take
Don't
responsibility.
apologize to me with a but or an if.
I can't stand.
Don't
people-
do that.
A but, an if,
I
or
feel
like
like-
use an excuse like, oh, well, it was because
Right.
of, like, we don't need that aspect. Like, in this moment, I'm being vulnerable. I apologize sincerely.
Right.
Who really cares about what it was? I apologize.
But
Yeah.
personally, like, you got to take fault. You know,
do.
we're
I was
not.
gonna say, I
we're
think-
not perfect. You know, like
Yes.
obviously, I take fault in any of the friendships that I've lost. I mean, I will always
I
the
take
people
fault
that I've
too.
loved. I'll always
I'll
love.
take fault,
And I don't wish
absolutely.
bad upon you. Like I want you
nope.
to do great. I want you
love
to
all y'all.
thrive.
I
Like
love
I want
all
you to
y'all.
be blessed. It's
Yeah.
just we're not going to be blessed together.
Correct. So how do
know?
you guys feel about that saying, like, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you in the wrong circle? How do you feel about that?
This-
I
Smart.
don't believe that because you're not always going to be the smartest. And if you are the
Yeah.
smartest, like you're not always going to be the smartest. Sometimes you may be the smartest and sometimes you may not be.
In
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah.
But here's
Okay.
the thing, though. I want people that, like, I try to surround myself with people that I can look up to.
Yeah.
I don't want to be looking down on my friends.
Yeah.
But
like,
I also feel like there's certain ways that Avina's smarter than me. There's certain ways that Tasha is smarter than me, and there's certain ways, you know what I mean, and vice versa.
Don't forget about me.
I told sweetie.
You just said
I
everybody
can't-
else but me.
I can't even get over there for you just cutting me off.
I am.
Jump,
I am-
jump,
I am-
jump.
I am
Sweetie,
a
you
little
jump,
smart
jump, jump.
sometimes.
she jumped the gun.
I mean, she gonna say
Shout out to Zaya.
She gonna say Avina and Tasha, and then go on
But
to
I
the
was
next
coming
point.
to you.
I'm
like,
right
oh,
here. I'm
Gabby,
right
baby, you got to wait your turn.
baby
Hey,
girl.
Let me
Okay.
get my drink. Let me get my drink.
Yes.
My
Sip, honey,
bad.
because you just got. Okay.
Spicy.
Anyways,
Spicy.
I was just commending
I was just going to get to you.
Right, but I'm going to just skip out on you because you need a second over there.
Baby,
I
bring
was
it
just
home.
telling Tasha how grateful I was that, you know, Tasha's a little bit older than me. I'm going to say a little bit because y'all need to know how old I am. I'm very mature for my age.
Y'all don't need to know how old I am, so let's keep that
Okay,
moving.
so
Or how young y'all are.
right. So I was just telling her I really, really appreciate you for calling me when there are things that you think I can do better than you, because for me, that's a confidence booster because I look up to y'all so much, and they're just always uplifting me. They're always like, okay, I might not be this good at that, but
I know Ari can kill it.
I know Ari can kill it.
Can do a lot
and vice versa. And
right.
I'm gonna do that for y'all all the time. So I think that you just have to have, balance. It's not that one person is gonna be the smartest in the group. It's that you have to know each other's levels.
Yeah. Right. Who has your strengths?
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
I think that's a good way to look at that versus like, oh, you the smartest. Oh, you know.
Well, you want all your friends to be good at something different. Y'all don't all want to be
all artists or all carpenters.
Right. We are not the Migos. Like
we do not have a carpenter. I think we need one.
I might be.
Listen,
actually, that's like been one of my dreams. I don't know why. I just have always.
You know what's crazy though? Like there's just kind of like circling back. The whole I guess really a public friendship is for example Kylie and Jordan. Sometimes you are
them sweeties there. Them sweeties there.
Sometimes you might be a team Kylie, and then sometimes you might be a team Jordan. Personally, look, Jordan, I got you back.
So for me, I was kind of like on the fence with the situation. I'm really, when it comes to celebrities, I'm always like, I really don't know these people. I'm getting a sneaker.
Well, you don't know the everyday nitty
but
gritty.
from the story, what you heard on the street, how do you feel?
So. From what I heard on the street, aka the shade room,
baller alert,
right? I feel like this is just my personal opinion. I feel like Jordan was wrong on the point of being at Tristan's house.
She got too comfortable
and sitting at his house on his lap, or whatever that kind of looked like.
You put yourself in a bad situation, sweetie.
Correct. Now, in regards to, and again, I don't know if this is
valid,
true.
but you can't throw all the fingers at her.
No, that's what I'm saying. Now, in the regards to supposedly the Jenners,
that's also your man,
Kardashians, whatever you call it. In regards to them like trying to like black her out and like, I guess mess up her like deals and stuff like that. I don't really agree with that.
She's been making more money. She's been making more money.
She's had her glow up. She had her glow up. Shout out, Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We want to be besties. I got a slot. I lost a couple of you. You know what I'm saying? I got a slot for you, Jordan. So shout out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, again, I can be on either side because honestly, I can see wrong in both. And Kylie, she's put in a terrible situation. That's her sister. That's her best friend. Of course, family comes before, your friends. But golly, I can only imagine what it was like for her to terminate that friendship. Yeah. I could only imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, they grew up together.
Correct. They lived together.
Like,
Kylie bought her a car.
If I'm not mistaken, Jordan's dad passed away and Kylie was there for all of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're at your most vulnerable moments. I'm sure they've seen each other in relationships. Kylie has a baby now. Jordan was around her baby. Like, you're seeing someone at a vulnerability. So separating and burning that relationship, that hurts. I'm sure it hurt. To be honest, though, I know there was a lot of shade and a lot of stones thrown at Jordan, but I'm sure that hurt her just as much because we all screw up. Like, we all mess up.
And so imagine how you feel.
You do.
You get comfortable and you don't think that's
one of those mess ups. That's one of those mess ups.
Yeah.
So maybe at that point, Kylie was at a point in her life where she was like, it's family over this.
Right.
But, every once in a while you're at a point where you're like, okay, my friends are my family. So
Correct.
what does that look like?
Right.
So it just depends on.
Put yourself on both ends.
Yeah. That's both sides. So if we want to kind of give our audience one takeaway, how do you have a successful circle? What does that look like? Kind of 3 words. What do you think it is? Or a sentence, a snippet. What can we give the people to help them really be cautious of their 2020 circle?
Mm-hmm. I think number one. Let me do number one. Number one would be to know yourself and know what your goals are.
Amen.
And know where you want to be. Because if you don't know those things, then no one can help you. No one can be what a friend needs to be for you because you don't even know what that looks like. Absolutely. So that would be my number one. Right. I don't have number 2 because somebody just kind of comes save me real quick.
I got you. Be as blunt as the blunt you want in your hand. Because
Barry Avina. That was good.
That was very deep.
Very catchy. I might
very, very deep.
And for you really want to be blunt. Like, not only do you want to be blunt, like, my biggest thing in any relationship that I have is communication. Because something that you say may strike me a little bit different than something that Gabby says, but it's only because Gabby's being more transparent than you, or you say something differently than Gabby is being. So for me, my biggest 2 things in friendships, relationships, family, everything, be very, very blunt and communicate with me. Over communicate before you under communicate. Always.
Always. Which is hard.
But it is hard.
Tosh, for you?
Mine would be to give grace, and I'm not saying give grace to the point where it's detrimental to your safety or your mental stability or whatever, because some people can be pushovers and manipulative and things like that, and those type of friends sometimes are hard to notice at first. But I think give grace, because I know we talked about like cutting people off and things like that, but I think the biggest thing is like understanding when you have those rifts, and like because a lot of times 90% of having conversations or disagreements and things like that is just being heard. And like if like it's with me, like in boyfriend girlfriend relationships, I think that sometimes it's not what you're saying to me, it's how you're saying it to me, and
your
how
tone,
how I'm being received, and what my intention was when I said the thing. Are you hearing it from did you hear my heart? So I think giving grace in that sense of like, did you hear my heart, or are you just pissed and you want to be mad and you want to break up and be friends, or not be friends, or whatever the case may be, like but giving grace and opening your ears to hear where those conflicts are, because friends get into it, family get into it, everybody has their moments, but I think giving grace is what saves a lot of friendships and bonds a lot of friendships too.
I agree.
So that's good.
Valid.
For mine, I think for 2020, in order to be cautious of the circle in which you have, be cautious of who you want in the car with you. You got a passenger rider just in case you need to help you steer that steering wheel, but you also got your backseat riders just in case we need to do a little transition.
Or we need to push that car.
Listen, we need to push that car.
with
I'm
me?
gonna be in my car.
So
I'm gonna be in the backseat.
Listen, like really be cautious of who you want in your car, because if that car shift left, we all shifting left. If that car shift right, we all shifting right. So kind of think about that, because I may need you to take over the wheel while I, get a little thing out my eye, but I trust you that you got it.
Right.
Okay.
So what does that look like for you?
Yeah.
Girl, did you just come up with that though?
Listen, I'm a little singer.
Preach, Gabby. Is it Sunday, Gabby? Is it Sunday?
Wait
Come
a
to my
minute,
TED
sweetie.
Talks.
Good. Drop that mic, but not too hard.
Well, I think that is a great way to kind of end the show.
Absolutely.
Number one, like we want to hear from y'all. What are y'all's friendships looking like? How are y'all repairing and flourishing in y'all's friendships? If there are times where y'all have had broken relationships or broken friendships, how did y'all repair that? Give our people some, tidbits, because we are really, really close knit. We rarely get into it. I mean, like rarely. And even if it is like a slight irritation, because like I'm gonna speak for me personally, sometimes I have an attitude.
Very irritable.
Times I'm very irritable.
Is that just you, or is that all four of
shade.
us?
But I can be very irritable. I can be very dismissive. I can be very in my head. If my friends don't know that, then they're gonna take it like, oh, she's being a bitch, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm just either tired, irritated, thinking about something else, and just totally not. It's not me.
Right.
So I think that we need to know those things. I think we need to share those things with each other, just as friends.
Know your traits.
So definitely leave all that information in the comments below, or
don't forget the questions.
Yes, and the sip and spill questions. Make sure y'all DM us, text us, video chat us, whatever. We want to connect with you guys. Also, make sure if you are listening to this on Audible or Spotify, all those streams, just make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, all of that. Same for YouTube. If you're looking at us visually, hello again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you know when we post the next video. But yeah, I think that is probably where we will wrap
don't forget
up.
to follow us on IG.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What is that Instagram?
First of all,
Press the podcast.
How
cute we are.
Real simple.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to our artist.
Yes.
Her name is Paris. She's in Wichita, Kansas, and I will tag her information. She made the cartoon version of us up here, and then Miss R.A. she made our actual press
Talented.
logo.
So.
But that
Don't call
cartoon
me.
is so cute to us. But anyway, that's our Instagram at Press the Podcast, all together, no underscores, no anything like that. So please,
and we do follow back right now.
Yeah, for real. No.
We do follow
Not
back.
in a couple
Media
months.
queens, if they don't
If they
follow
don't
you
follow
back,
back, it's their fault. If they don't follow you
back, it's their fault.
It's their fault.
Don't give us a notice.
No, seriously.
do that.
And then also just share this podcast or this YouTube video, however you're getting the information, with your family and with your friends. Like we said, we want to connect with other businesses, entrepreneurs. If you have a side hustle, if you are thinking about starting a hot side hustle, if you want to help us in some type of way, I know y'all can't see our guys behind this camera, but we are so grateful and thankful for the team, and we will make sure that we tag them as well, because they're going to continuously be shooting our podcast and helping us upload and things like that. So we are very, very grateful. This podcast is going to be awesome.
Get better and better.
Yes.
Baby.
Yeah, so we are just super excited. So thank you for tuning in and listening to our banter. And we're excited about 2020. And if you have any topics that you want to hear specifically, again, like we said, we won't have anything super planned out like for the rest of the year. We're going pretty current event or what's just kind of on our hearts and things like that, since it's so many of us and we can kind of like mouth off of each other. But we also want to hear from you because this is what we're doing it for. It is our platform and it is our brand, but we want to make sure that we include you guys as well because y'all are our friends, y'all are our besties, and so just make sure that y'all always connect with us and just
honey, let us know what you are pressed about.
Yes. But also be gentle with us. Like we're starting this out. We don't have everything figured out. So please,
disclaimer, sweetie.
Talk to me nice.
Be gentle. Don't come in the comments being crazy.
Very rude.
You know, just keep it cute.
Very
please.
silly.
Be very
All
cute.
right,
Don't
baby.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Bye.
Bye.
Press, 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 press.